I'm
Which,
I'm not surprised that they're opening a criminal investigation on the Tate brothers, but I'm so upset with this fucking administration. Why did we let the human traffickers come here with
I
open
don't know.
fucking arms?
Well, okay. My question is that, like, I know this is completely irrelevant and it does not matter, but like, does anyone find this guy attractive? Like, he's got Neanderthal brows. He's always got a scowl on his face. But his scowl is always like sideways, like he's in the middle of having a stroke while he does it.
Paints John's
Like
having a
it's
stroke.
like just the right side of his face goes up and the left side goes down whenever he's talking and scowling. And it's just like, I don't know. He just like, I know I shouldn't make fun of people for their looks, but he just does not look good.
I think it's reasonable to make fun of somebody for their looks if they make making fun of other people for their looks their shtick.
Mm,
And
okay, that's true.
100% he does. So I remember me and my friend Renita Chan did a collaboration. I want to say 2 years ago, where Andrew Tate gave his review of Spider-Man as a character. And the amount that this dude potshots how much of a loser and how much of a wimp Spider-Man is, and how he looks like a nerd and a dork, and how these are all negative traits.
Fucking Spider-Man's dating Zendaya.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't argue with results, right?
I can't argue with results when Tom Holland is literally dating Zendaya.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Nethercat says Tate was in MMA. He has been punched in the head a lot. True. So maybe everything we're saying is technically ableist.
Yeah, but when the person's a rich piece of shit, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah. So Florida's Attorney General on Tuesday opened a criminal investigation into Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate. Sorry, I'm the way that's reading in my head is that he's a British influencer that uses AOL. It's the American online influencers who face human trafficking charges in Romania and Britain after they arrived in the state last week. Isn't he on record saying that he went to Romania because it's so much easier to avoid human trafficking charges there?
He said that it was easier to bribe the cops and the government, but he was...
Oh, did Tom Holland and Zendaya get married?
Aw.
They're such a cute couple.
But
have you seen them together? They're adorable.
I have. I believe that he was very specific on not mentioning the exact illegal thing he was trying to bribe cops so that he could do. But he definitely said he moved there because the police were corrupt and it was easier to work with them as a result.
Yeah. So, in exchange with a reporter... excuse me. The Attorney General said that his office had secured and executed subpoenas and warrants in the criminal investigation into the Tate brothers. So last week they arrived in Florida after their travel restrictions were lifted in Romania for some reason.
Probably
some reason is highly
collusion with
suspected to be
United States.
pressure from the Trump administration.
Yeah. This would be a good PR
Romania
move.
has denied that, but that I assume, like that. Of course, if you are giving in to pressure from the Trump administration, then in public, when people ask you if that's what you did, you would deny it, obviously. So the denial doesn't really hold much weight for me.
Also, again, when Tate says that, oh, by the way, I chose this spot because of how corrupt the government is, I'll just assume, I will just believe what you say and infer from there.
Yeah. Yeah, but also... Oh, I was going to say... Oh, yeah. So this is one of the things that... I mean, it doesn't really baffle me because I know that they're just lying through their teeth. They don't actually care. Like, they don't mean anything that they say. in the sense that like they don't believe in anything substantial. Um, Fez time. So Trump's whole campaign towards the end was all about like, oh, we're gonna protect women. We're gonna protect women because trans people are trying to from trans people being in bathrooms with them or being on sports teams with them. So like that was their whole focus, and they're saying that like, oh, we're doing this to protect women. That was the whole justification for it. As soon as he gets into office, he's like, hey, the human traffickers who are known for sex trafficking women, let's give them safe haven in Florida. Like, excuse me?
Also, this is the same party that just introduced a bill in Texas. I believe it's in Texas. Yeah, Texas. That states that being trans is considered a form of fraud and therefore is a prosecutable offense.
Yay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
How is it fraud?
Let's see here. Section 35.515, gender identity fraud. A person commits an offense if the person knowingly makes a false or misleading or verbal or written statement to a governmental entity or the person's employer by identifying the person's biological sex as opposite of the biological sex assigned as a person by birth. An offense under this section is a state jail felony. This act takes effect September 1st, 2025. So that is how they're doing it.
They specifically did that to avoid any federal appeals.
Correct.
Well, shit.
So I wish I was being hyperbolic when I said that, but nope. Not this time. That's just me quoting it. Yay.
See, and this is where like I'm actually like we have reworked how we're doing vacationing and stuff with the kids. It's like last year we went to Mexico and we did the American border crossing to like the customs or whatever to get to and from Mexico from the States. We did that in Texas, and I have multiple trans kids. So now I'm just like,
yeah, it would be actively unsafe to do so as of September.
Like I've actually I've agreed to go to the protest and give a little talk at the Ark Encounter this year. But like I'm almost at the point where I'm rethinking that, where it's like I don't want to enter the States.
Yeah, and I can completely understand that.
It's concerning.
I can completely understand that perspective because it's just not safe here.
There have also been instances of trans people that have been abroad that when Trump issued that order where like, oh yeah, no, passports have to match your birth sex or whatever, the American trans people that were abroad are now stranded abroad because their passports are no longer acceptable in the United States.
So what happens when their time in the other country is up?
Apply for asylum, I guess.
Because like once your time is up, you're forced to go back. That's how it's supposed to work. But if you can't go back because our laws are stupid, that's cool. And you know what the best part is? So this is an argument I got into with some of the people in my my magic group, or specifically one of the people in my magic group. I in passing noted that I think it was the Lineman Institute, which the one that is responsible for pointing out when a country is on a red flag for genocide. So like Israel was considered red flag for genocide. The United States is now considered red flag for genocide. And I pointed that out, and the other person was wanting context for it. And so I was explaining all of the different steps of genocide and how the passport stuff works as one of the steps. Because if you restrict the movement of those people, that is literally one of the things that was done to Jewish people in Germany. And one of the ways that trans people are having their passports restricted is the gender marker thing. And the first words out of his mouth from like a 35-year-old man and a father of two was, well, I guess they have to pick one, right? Basically saying, I guess they have to pick one of their genders. And I just snapped at him and going, do you know what the fuck a trans person is?
Apparently not.
Yeah, because apparently you don't know. And I don't have the crayons or slurs to explain it to you right now. Because if that is the general understanding of people in this area of what a trans person is like the purple-haired person who's confused about their gender and doesn't know who they are, then I've got a much more uphill battle to fight than I fucking thought. Because I'm dealing with actual stupidity.
So on the stream for the ACA that I did before coming on here, one of the things I talked about with Dan was how there's the postmodernist idea of truth is that truth doesn't really exist. Truth is determined by institutions and power. And that's one of those things where it's like, I don't agree with that, but I am finding it increasingly hard to argue against that point. Because, like, yeah, no, I know what a trans person is, but when, like, there's so much media that's being shoved down everybody's throats about how trans people are all these scary, weird, like, I don't know, it's just...
Also, Guitar Rocket, Electric...
It's exhausting.
Meat Mecha, thank you both for the follows. I appreciate that as I get ever more upset at the stupidity around me.
It's like we had an election in my province. Unfortunately, Doug Ford is still our guy. Now, fortunately, he doesn't like Trump anymore, so he has taken a hard stance against him. Like I think he said we're going to be cutting off electricity to the States.
Okay.
And Niagara Falls generates a lot of electricity that goes to the States. I'm not sure that that's actually feasible because the way the grid is designed, we actually there have been there's usually a few times a year where we have to pay American utility companies to take our excess electricity. So I'm not sure that that's actually feasible, but I hope so. But anyway, what I was getting at is that we had a rep for the PPC in Canada running in our riding. PPC is basically Canadian MAGA.
Oh,
they never win shit, so I wasn't worried about it or whatever. But I got an ad from the guy, and the whole thing was just him going off on how, trans people are a threat and we're going to protect the children, we're going to protect women, protect people or whatever. And so I emailed him. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to hear that you are concerned with protecting children. So I assume that means that my child who is trans, you want them to be protected so they can just have a childhood without having to worry about going to the bathroom in a place where you will see them and be a danger to them, right? That is what you mean when you say protect them? And he responded to me, and he recommended Matt Walsh's movie, What is a Woman?
Which means their propaganda is actively working.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I sent him back Forrest Valkai's redo of the Sex and Sensibility video, which I don't know if you've seen that yet, but it is fantastic.
I saw the original. I haven't seen the redo of it.
Yeah, no, he was mad at how many thumps there were every time he smacked his hands on the table.
Oh, is the actual information in the video identical?
It's not identical. He followed the same script, but he also addressed a lot of complaints that people had with it. So it went from a half hour long to an hour and a half long.
You know what? I'm perfectly okay with that because I'm not gonna lie. For the longest time, the original Sex and Sensibility video, existed in my phone as notes. Because I took a bunch of notes on the video so that I would always have access to them. And I'm like, you know what? Nope. I can't articulate this any better than he did. I'm not even going to try. I am just going to refer to this shit when I need it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, anyway, back to the Tates. British authorities have sought Tate's arrest over criminal accusations of rape and human trafficking. Florida officials have said that the brothers who arrived in a private jet on Thursday morning are not welcome in the state. So DeSantis said that Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct. So like Ron DeSantis doesn't want them there. And he says when he found out that they were coming through posts on social media, nobody warned him.
I mean,
and so he says, I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. And you're like, okay, have you met Trump? Yes, I know you have met Trump because you used to try and suck up to Trump all the time before you ran against him and then dropped out immediately.
I mean, at the very least, he said that he's against that stuff, but it's DeSantis. I don't trust how far he's willing to actually own that stance.
Yeah. These guys have themselves publicly admitted to participating in what very much appears to be soliciting, trafficking, and preying upon women around the world. And, of course, the Tate brothers' lawyer maintained their innocence in a scathing statement filled with vulgarities that vilified Mr. DeSantis and Mr. Uthmeyer on Tuesday. So that's what you want. You want a vulgar lawyer representing you.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.